Hello, everyone. I'm Jamila Saou. I'm in charge of sustainability. I'm the program manager for sustainability and energy management in Schneider. And I'm pleased to present you today with Henri this webinar. Henri?
Hello, everybody. So Henri Obara speaking. I'm part of digital in Schneider, so more focusing on analytics and from time to time to green buildings. And I'm also sharing, I would say, my experience and expertise among all partners outside from Schneider.
Perfect. Thank you, Henri. So the agenda for today is first to have an introduction, a brief introduction, overview of the green building market and building market in general. And then we'll have also a focus on Schneider solution for green building, and a deep dive in LEED and BREEAM with really concrete example of what have been done in Schneider site. If we have time, we will go through a living building challenge. Anyway, if not, the slides will be available, and a last slide of takeaways. So let's start. The first thing is, beginning of October, I participated to a webinar about BEAM data, and I launched this survey to design office to gather all their environmental concerns. Till now, I only have really few responses, so it's only 2 minutes 30 answers of this survey, and it will help us first to identify what are the major concerns and major topics that the design office needs to have information about, or a dedicated solution, Schneider solution in regard to sustainability. So can you please answer this survey or forward it to your partners so that we can have their feedback and really get appropriate content in terms of webinar for the next one. But let's jump in the topic. You have here a picture of our CEO. This picture is just to show that we are all facing a real crisis with this COVID, but it should not distract our attention from the other challenges of the world, that are the climate change and the economic challenge. So it was just to say, yes, we are all in a challenging position with this COVID, but we need to face a mid-long-term challenge higher than that. So here, at building level, today you see that we have urbanization increasing. 70% of the population worldwide will be in cities by 2050. And linked to this, for sure, it will have a huge impact on the building sector. You see that 40% of greenhouse gases come from building sector, and it's a real concern. 50% in Europe of the resource consumption in Europe are for building construction, and it generates 450 million tons of waste for building demolition and also during building construction. So it's just to say, building is one of the high contributor of the climate change and on the environmental concerns. The mega trends, we see raising demand regarding green building certification. Here I give you two examples. In France, in Q3, we will have the RE 2020. In Q3 2021, it's the environmental regulation that will embed for sure requirement for energy efficiency at building level, but also carbon efficiency and carbon footprint at building level. So it will be mandatory in next year. And the second example is about the Net Zero Carbon Initiative that is highly considered in the UK Ministry of Education. His target is to only have net zero school in the coming years under construction. And the last example is about Green Star in Australia, that is a GB Green Building Certification that raised 40% of building construction now. You see, and the second one is a Dodge survey where you see the design office interviewed said that by 2021, almost 47% of their project, 40% of their projects will be green projects. And the next one is about the GHG at life cycle of the building. The pink one is about the embodied carbon in the construction of the building. The blue one is about the operational. You see that in the years, the operational GHG carbon emission have decreased of the building, while the construction phase has increased. Is directly linked to all the energy efficiency initiatives that have been raised in the building to improve the building efficiency. So now we definitely need to embed these environmental topics in both, in the construction phase as in the operational phase. And last but not least, the other cost raised by a green building, by green building requirements implementation in building is 6%, which in fact, when you look at the return on investment, it's around 2 years. So it's definitely a good investment, knowing that you make almost 30% of energy saving during the lifetime of the building. But okay, let's have a look at the green building global definition. That's the World Green Building Council definition. It's about designing, constructing, and operating a project building to be environmentally responsible, sustainable, resource efficient, which means, in fact, it needs to be efficient in the energy it uses, in the water it uses, in all the other resources it uses. It also needs to make sure to avoid the use of toxic substance or hazardous substance. We have all in mind the asbestos scandal in the past years. This green building also needs to use renewable energy and appropriate energy mix to promote those renewable energy, and to warranty a good air quality and indoor temperature for the occupants. And you see that we have key drivers worldwide with the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015, all the national rules that are raising at European level. Europe aim to decrease by 80% the CO2 emission by 2050. So building is a big sector, so it will be impacted by this of the European Union. And at least the business goals, for sure, it's a fact that a green building certification increase the building value, increase the rental of the building, and is for sure energy cost efficient, and raise the engagement of the occupants in the building. So those are the key drivers. Now let's see worldwide. This is a map. I will not go in depth, but just to see that worldwide there is a raise of certification. Today we decided to focus on LEED and BREEAM because they are the major one, but there are regional specificities like the Green Start. I could have marked also here the BCA Green Mark in Singapore. And that's it. Here you have a view of the Oxcoru digital database that aggregates all the LEED building impact. In fact, all the buildings that are LEED in operation and maintenance share their data of energy consumption, water consumption, and so on in this database. It enables the building to increase its score in the certification it has. And it's also not only for LEED building, for LEED certification, it's also for other certification to be used too. So it's quite interesting to see that on worldwide level, all the LEED building data and other certification building data provide all their consumption on a worldwide basis. And just to show you that at Schneider level, we have some concrete example of what is our on site. You have intensity in Grenoble here. The platinum score is still pending because it has just been launched. And for LEED, we need to wait for the building, even if we have required the building design and construction certification, we need to wait for the building to operate to get the final score of the BDC, Building Design Construction certification. That's why it's pending. And we have also the headquarters in Paris and also site in South Africa. So definitely Schneider is is concerned by these green building topics and is embedding it in most of the building Schneider is using. But we are not only using LEED, we are also looking at the Singapore Green Mark, VCA, where we have platinum score. And we also are looking at BREEAM in Netherlands, in our headquarters in Netherlands. For sure, we have achieved good score at Schneider site, but because we drink our own champagne, let's say, we use the solution we promote for those green buildings. But what are their solutions? You have surely heard about EcoStruxture story. EcoStruxture, this wonderful set of architecture and platform for each specific end market domain that provide reference guideline, IoT dedicated solution to all these domains. So today, for these topics, I will focus and present you those two EcoStruxture, building and power one, because they are the major one to address the building market. Let's start with EcoStruxture Power. The EcoStruxture Power is dedicated to the electrical distribution topic, and is here to provide and to ensure safety and reliability and quality of the electrical distribution of the building. You have the 3 layer, that is the typical architecture of EcoStruxture. The first one about connected product. It's a set of products that embed connectivity and intelligence, and it covers all the quite well-known product, breakers, actuators, smart panel, medium voltage, low voltage, and so on. And so this is for the connected layer, and it's communicating with the edge control layer. That embeds also part of the product for the local collection of data, monitoring and control of data coming from those connected products. We have gateways also in this edge control to enable this gathering of data. And we have a set of softwares that are, once again, just at local level, at the building level. The last one, the apps, analytics, and services layer. It's the one that enable to have multi-site functions when you have a multi-site building that you want to address. It's the one where, for example, for the Power Advisor, where you will address the overall network quality and the equipment reliability. It's the one that will enable to do downtime, outage, and to provide detailed recommendation, because few of them are connected to Schneider experts that make the analytics and communicate with the customer to give the right recommendation in terms of maintenance or update or any alert on the system. The Asset Advisor is also a cloud-based infrastructure that is focusing on the critical assets, transformer, genset, this kind of stuff, and is also providing incident reporting, alarming about the status of the electrical distribution to the customer. So electrical distribution is related to safety and operational performance also, because all those one and the one in the edge control, that is power monitoring expert, enable all the operational performance about energy performance analysis. And also the quality, to make sure that the quality of your electrical distribution in the building is at the right level. EcoStruxture building. Here we have a picture of, this one is more dealing with the energy usage of the building for the occupant comfort, but also for the efficiency of the building. At the connected product level, we have some room controller, security expert controller, actuators, and so on, lighting management also. At the edge level, we aggregate also the information coming from those connected products for HVAC usage analysis, fire, access, security control, and so on. And at the upper level, we are providing resources to make sure that the space used in the building is efficiently done, depending on the occupancy rate and also on the seasonality in the building. We also have one that I have not talked about, that is a microgrid advisor that is here to deal with the energy mix and the renewable energy implementation in the building. Here you have a typical success story that for the Hilton hotel chain, for which we achieve a LEED Gold through our EcoStruxture building offer. So it's just to show that we do it for our own site, we do it also for our customers. So the EcoStruxture architecture enable Schneider to contribute to green building. It ensures electrical reliability, resilient building to adapt to building usage, to manage the wages and the energy for sure in the building, to control the building comfort for we have demand response features, and also for to improve the occupancy well-being and level of the building. We have also the resource management and the smart grid implementation that I just talked about. So we have deal with all those energy efficiency topics in the criteria features, major features of green building. We have not talked about toxicity, resource consumption, and so on, and all the embodied carbon. You remember the pink one that was on the chart, that was almost balanced now by the operational and energy usage and CO2 emission in operational phase. So Schneider answer to this is the Green Premium program. Green Premium program is a long-term program. We launched it in 2007, and it's based on 5 pillars. One is, we call it the brand imprint. So it's about compliance and transparency. We are doing some declaration for all the regulation of substances for Europe for sure, but also for China, for US. And we are analyzing all the substance contained in our product, and we provide declaration of compliance. The second one is the PEP, Product Environmental Profile. That is an LCA analysis of all our products. We make an analysis of the environmental impact, typical like for sure CO2 footprint, but also acidification, eutrophication, and all those environmental impact that are required in a normal environmental declaration. We provide also circularity profile, that is the end of life of the product. And we have added pillars to this. The 4 pillar well-being is about to go ahead and further than what are required by the regulation. Is we anticipate the coming substances and the specific requirements on some markets about the substances we need to avoid in our product. We also look at the resource performance in deeper. We look at how to reduce the CO2 performance of our product through energy efficiency of our product. And the last one, circular performance, is about how we can make sure, evaluate the recyclability of our product, make sure it's repairable, upgradable, and so on. And the last one is about differentiation. Here, we are looking for external labels to environmental external label, like BVB, that is Nordic labels for substance management, Declare, that is a US label for product that is very useful in Living Building Challenge, and for which you will have a clear example after that. All those information are available in Checker Product Database. This is an internet database that is fully available and fully transparent. It provides the environmental regulation declaration. It provides the product environmental declaration. So for the product of Schneider, you just have to type your commercial references and you get the environmental footprint of the product. And also the end of life. All those kind of documents are available on this internet database. It's unique. We are the only one, Schneider, in the electrical distribution world to have this kind of information, environmental information available on a free access. And now let's see how it is concretely used, this Green Label, Green Premium program, in a customer success story. Thank you all for hearing. Now I'll leave the floor to Henri. He will share the video. Thank you, Henri.
RW Kern Center is a special building because it's net positive for energy and net positive for water. This building actually is giving back. My name is Lisa Carey Moore. I'm a senior sustainability analyst at Integrated EcoStrategy. I started to work on the Kern Center in 2013. It sits at the heart of the Hampshire College campus. It's an educational tool. People are in here all the time taking tours to understand the unique systems that make it so special. My job entails working with manufacturers, trying to reduce the amount of toxic chemicals that are in the built environment. My discovery of Schneider Square D was precisely because I was looking at a product from another manufacturer and I couldn't get information on it. And I went to Schneider's website and I clicked on sustainability, and lo and behold, there was this section called Green Premium. And I thought, oh my gosh, here is all of the information that I need for this product. I could get the ROSE certificate and I could get a product environmental profile. It was like finding a gold mine. Schneider has rolled out an app so that you can get information based on a QR code, and that streamlines my job in a way that I couldn't even imagine when I first began this. I think Schneider is so far ahead of many other companies in transparency and environmental impact. It used to take months to get information on products. Today, I can go to Green Premium, I can enter my product ID, I can download the reports, and I can be done.
Great, thank you, Henri, for having played this video. So I'll leave you the floor now.
Okay, welcome everybody. So let's move to the next slide. So for answering a colleague question just previously, I would say BREEAM, but no matter. I like the French way, BREEAM. So I guess so, guys, you know more about LEED than BREEAM, so we'll say less words on LEED now than for BREEAM. But the introductory note I wanted to share with you is that both are the same. They are, in fact, helping project building, achieving level of sustainability using different words, of course, using different categories of targets, using points or credits on one hand, and on the other hand, making use of a weighted percentage score. Nevertheless, all those LEED, BREEAM, and many others around the world are, in fact, not competing in shows that that's not our business, but helping building project to progress toward a more sustainable approach. Let's take an example. You will say, yeah, Schneider again. But this is how we can do it. And really, if we go back to the sequence of Schneider Electric Technopole story, I can share you immediately the link via the chat. But I also can share you while I will be demonstrating to you. Can you see my new screen now?
Yes.
So this is available on the USGBC website. And you will see the picture, some text, narrative description, the achievement we have had with the new construction project. Well, that project is in fact particular to Schneider because we are owner, operator, and occupants of that building. So we feel comfortable to adjust and control and do whatever we would like to do to demonstrate our achievement. So LEED was the referring sustainability rating that we wanted to make use of because it's a worldwide well-known rating system. But not only. In its version 4, it was the more demanding rating system. And it has been issued, I would say, in conjunction with the starting of that project, so around 2013. So we did achieve the platinum level using the rating and all of our solutions. You can imagine that we have been using or drinking our own champagne, as Jamila just said. And what you can see today is the in-operation performance using the ARC platform, a platform which exists for years as well. And we started to make use of it, I would say, many years ago with the Hive headquarters. So when you see that score being reflected, that means that we have been taking care of the internal environment. So that's the human experience score. This transportation score from the ARC platform is making use of surveys results about how occupants are leading to the building. So transportation and mobility mode. The waste is a kind of scoring function about what kind of waste is being diverted from the activity hosted by the building. And of course, water and energy performance score based on how much the user of the building make use of water and how much the technical system is being using energy. So you see that the energy is, I would say, the highest score that we have achieved in the world using the ARC platform. And what ARC is providing to building owners and operators is also a path to LEED certify in operation the assets. So let's go back to the presentation. It's more static now. So those are the type of projects that have been covered by BREEAM, LEED, whatever other kind of rating systems. But they all share, I would say, the common achievement level may be expressed using stars from BREEAM and using labels like outstanding, which really resonate to ears of people, or platinum or color medal type with the LEED approach. So you see the scoring is, I would say, separated in different steps, whereas in LEED is more simpler to understand. You get the very lowest level, you just get certified, you get the highest level, which is platinum. Whereas for BREEAM, it's becoming a little bit more complicated because you have a percentage weighted score among all categories and credits, and you have to compute a score, and then you get your results. But that's the way it is, no matter. Section that was with those two fellow ratings, I would say, quite the same. We have tried to make a parallel between the both using the words from the rating system. And you see that the most important starting point, I would say, for a project is to find the location. Of course, real estate has a value based on the location of the project. And secondly, of course, by the transportation link. So among all those categories, you would imagine that this is not, I would say, food for electrician. Well, if you take a closer look at location or transportation, you will see that it does address electrical vehicle charging station. So this is completely in our scope of business, and you can answer to the requirement on that topic. Let's just go down now to the other more important category, which is energy. So energy, as you can imagine, is the energy performance of the building. Not comparing, there is not a benchmark against a scale of existing building. This is more a category which is trying to address, using simulation tool, the forecasted energy performance of the building. So depending on the usage or the option used in the Bosch rating system, you can make use of very advanced tools, including those tools that do allow for integration of the control system function of a BMS. Or you can make use of a simpler path, just stating that imagining some of the feature of the building that you want to implement, you follow a path like the ASHRAE path or the national regulation path. I mean, national building regulation, sorry. So this is the case for BREEAM. BREEAM makes use of that option. In fact, you not score the building, but demonstrate that the building is at least as performing as the national regulation. As Jamila and the video demonstrated, material and resources then will have to cope with the material impact of a project building. So this is the place where you will see the advantage of our Green Premium labeling program. It helps, of course, it helps, I would say, in a smaller scale, at a smaller scale than the concrete and all the materials for the building construction, but it really helps. Last, the sixth one, which is the indoor environmental quality, does address all those aspects to host, I would say, a healthy and well-being environment. So everything which relates to ventilation, everything which relates, in fact, to thermal comfort, to lighting levels, and also including sounds, acoustics, whatever kind of things that you can imagine is behind this category. Both of them are also including innovation or bonus categories where you can find, I would say, a way to demonstrate something very particular to your project, something that you really can demonstrate as an innovation. Voilà, as we say in French, we can start, I would say, the
poll.
Question.
The poll.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, Henri, for introducing the poll. So now here is a small break, let's say. Let's raise a bit the interaction. So in just a minute, you're going to see right now, on the right of your screen, the poll is open. So actually the question is to understand or try to guess, let's say, from what Henri presented, what are the three major sections to consider. So let's give you a small minute, let's say, to make sure you have the time to answer to this question. And right after, Henri will give us his answers, his feedbacks on this question. So I can see not many of you are actually playing with a poll. Take this chance. Yes, now I see it moving. Great.
Okay, if I just can comment what Henri just said. All of those, we have seen BREEAM and LEED sections. And previously I showed a map of the overall green building certification worldwide. You need to consider that they address, most of them, they address exactly the same sections. So once you have catch up, what are the important sections and how we contribute, it can be BCA, it can be Green Star in Australia or BCA in Singapore. You will have the same answers.
So we have a few seconds left for the poll. This is now never to answer.
Come on, don't be shy. You can answer every section is of importance.
So here we are. I am sharing the result. Okay. So what can we see? So we have a majority of water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, and let's say at the equal level we have materials and resources coming with, I'm not sure, you said innovation.
Innovation.
Okay, so let's see now what are the answers that Henri is proposing. So Henri, if you want to comment on this.
Surely. So this is an example that we have just taken out. We consider that those three are the major or the most important one. But I would say, as the poll demonstrates, most of the section are important, of course. And what is being rated as more important within the rating systems is the energy in atmosphere. So it starts really, and you can find this common feature on all rating systems. So the design, energy efficiency design of a building is the utmost importance in points, credit, whatever you want. I won't say the second on the list would be material, but the both material and indoor are of equal importance. And also because material and indoor environment relates to each other. If you select, I would say, furnitures that do have a high emission rate of pollutant in the air, so you will have trouble, in fact, with your building to maintain a healthy indoor environment. So the clear selection of material at the beginning of the design process of a building is really important. And of course, water is important, location is important, but the weighting of the section is the score that I just shared with you, DAF. That's the most important one. Thank you for your answers. So here you get the details on the importance. It's a weighted relative to LEED, relative to BREEAM, weighted importance of all the categories. So we won't be able to pass through all the next slides, but as the presentation will be shared to you, I just wanted to move over all the categories that we just introduced. And you will see that credit by credit or issues by issues, because this is the word being used in BREEAM, you will discover how our solution can map and contribute to the credit or issues achievement. So let's get a little bit of focus on energy metering, because the both, I would say, are important in building, because if you want to know how much your building is consuming, you have to set up an energy metering system. And the deeper you go to the sub-metering, like I would say proposed or by BREEAM, the better you would know which system is working or operating with defaults. We have a PME, power monitoring expert system installed in the Technopole building, and the facility manager make use extensively of that feature to monitor every day if something is going wrong or not. And if it detects about high energy consumption devices or systems, then it will act using other tools. That was just an example. So commissioning is a very important aspect of a building project. You have to commission the electrical installation, otherwise you won't be delivering a certainty that your system is functioning. So the commissioning is really encouraged and weighted within the both rating systems. So you see from 2 to 6 points in LEED, from 1 to 3, 4 points in energy commissioning, and over on the BREEAM side. So you see that those, I would say, I won't say option. It's not an option to commission or not commission the building. It's a mandatory feature. But the more you deploy or you develop deeper the commissioning process, the more you get points or credits. So energy already addressed that particular point, but not on the grid harmonization, which is a new feature in LEED, with LEED version 4.1 today. They are clearly, in fact, pushing projects to be ready, prepare for demand response scheme, program, operations. So everything must be prepared, set for that particular microgrid case or grid harmonization, which is a better wording. for the demand response programs. And as you can see, BREEAM is a little bit too old. They didn't update the rating system since 5 years. So they are quite, I would say, beyond the journey with respect to LEED. So this point was already addressed. It's a matter of using a simulation tool, and you see the largest importance that LEED is given to that design, I would say, study or task. Whereas for, I would say, BREEAM, you can only see a few points because they are more relying on national building regulation. Voilà. And you will see an example of using our green premium in the arena, which is being on the project in Austin, Texas. So this is one of the cases where we are using our green premium differentiating factor to better promote our products and solutions, because the owner of the project wants this project to achieve platinum level.
Yeah.
That's it for me, I guess, because I don't want to take much time.
You can go directly to key takeaway.
Absolutely. You get the takeaway slides, you get all features and products that could do count on reaching the credit level of both BREEAM and LEED. And those are the key takeaways today. So I think that now you are convinced that the green building market is increasing. That's a huge movement that started years ago, I would say decades ago. Just to mention, BREEAM started in 1990. So it's already a long story for them. So one other common point or commonality that we already discussed upon is that all those rating systems speaks about the same targets: reduce the environmental impact of the project's building and in the operating phase of the building. Energy material, high concerns. That's what we have discovered today. The green premium drivers differentiating factor from our offer that Jamila introduced and developed further. And also, I guess today that you have had a chance to increase a little bit your knowledge about green building rating systems.
I'm sure I did. Thank you. So thank you very much, Henri and Jamila, for running this amazing presentation.